What else did I mention before? Preferences. Preferences are particularly easy, he says. So here you can see we have a list of preferences. I can show you the preferences screen because that actually works. I don't appear to have got an internet connection, so I don't know what's happened there. I don't have one there. But the entirety of our preferences screen is in this XML file, so you can see we have a list preference which covers search spread, the array of items that are going to be in that is there, the array of values is going to be there, and so forth and so on. You can see somewhere down here we have a checkbox preference for that manual position stuff, and then we have some edit text preferences for the edit boxes. We'll get there eventually. And that's it. You just go and tell it that there's this screen that it has to render, and it's a preferences screen, and it does all the rest for you. All the persistence, all the loading, provides you the mechanism to get those from the persistence, everything else. So if we go to menu, preferences, you get a list that looks like this. You can click on it for your list of values or list of names, and then it will set the value based on that. It's pretty much the same. And edit boxes, all of that just rendered from that little XML file there that says pretty much not a lot.
Those titles be resources?
Can the titles be resources?
Shouldn't they be?
Which titles?
Android
Manual position, latitude, longitude.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yep, for sure. They should be string resources. So, yep.
With your emulator, does it emulate the rest of the phone too? Like, can you show us around it now? Because it's probably easier than looking at the physical device.
Sure.
Is that the default theme for everything, all those menus you're showing?
Yeah, this is the default theme. There is a theming engine. Haven't played with it at all. We are looking at it for our other app right at the moment, but haven't got to the bottom of it. Interestingly enough, and I don't understand this choice at all, theming is per application, not phone-wide. So if you set up a theme on your phone, it does not go to every application you've done. The applications have their own call to the theming engine, and they can get whatever they like out of it. I believe there's a way to get the system preferences to say what is the system current theme, but there is no requirement to do that, and the apps can override that as they see fit. Okay, so the phone, the quick browse of the phone. This is their sort of menu of bits and pieces. This one doesn't have it. This is where the App Store lives. It's in the phone, so you can go to the App Store and just download apps from there. You can grab. Let me see this. No, I can't. Wrong way. So there is because it's not a dual touch screen like the iPhone. There are some different ways of doing things. They have a long click, which is just basically holding on the screen, which I did then. You can add application to the front page, so we have the alarm clock, and then you can do other things with long click, like that turns the thing here into a rubbish bin to get rid of it. You have no idea how long that took us to find. We had this screen covered with icons on the thing, and we couldn't get rid of them.
Are those icons freeform on the desktop, or
no, they're freeform. You can move. No, I can't move them around. You can move them around. You can move them around. You do need to do something to turn it into freeform. It's currently tiled in a sort of U shape around the clock. They give you a whole extra screen so you can drag sideways or the other side to get, whoops, if I drag far enough, you'll get the Google search there. So there's 3 screens worth of real estate. They give you a menu button which does other sorts of stuff. As you can see, our preferences stole their settings icons. One of the other downsides of Android is they've got a giant internal resource file, the android.r file, which is documented, sort of, but for example, all the icons in it, there's no display of what they all are, so the only way to figure it out, and that's not called settings in there, it's called something else odd, like check preferences or something like that, and so you're like going, android.r. something or other. Okay, compile my program. Does it look like what I want? No. All right, back to the next one. So, one of my next open source projects is going to be write the thing that displays everything that's in there, so you can just scroll and click on it, and it'll tell you what you want to use. Yeah, very painful. But they are all there to use.
suppose for its interface, is it finger touch only, or does it support a stylus as well? Or is
No,
that
it doesn't
device-
support a stylus. There is no character recognition or anything as far as I know on there. It's kind of odd in that quite a lot of the things, it's probably easiest to see on the device. I don't know if I can show you this, but the preferences screen, whether everybody can see this or not. Preferences screen down the bottom here, where you've got these little check fields that were the latitude and longitude text boxes. You press on them, right, and you're like, right, now what do? I've got to swing it, turn it sideways so I can actually enter the values in it, because that's the only way to get a keyboard so that I can type. And it's like, okay, could have been done better, could have had some sort of option to do something other than that, but that's it. There are several different projects around to generate a soft keyboard for it, but none of them are in any state of completion at the moment. People are talking about them in the next month or so, but who knows, we'll wait and see.
So does it have any sort of like 2 finger zoom ins?
No, it is only a single touch screen, so there is no 2-finger action. You cannot detect it being pressed in 2 different places at the same time.
Is that a limitation of that handset, or is that?
That
across
is a
the board?
limitation of that handset, although the API doesn't support anything that would let you do that anyway, so I'm not sure what they could do to handle that of a dual touch screen coming in. Potentially you get motion events when things happen on the screen. Hold on.
I've heard something that's also Apple patents on the multi-touch technology.
Could well be. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't quite understand that also, because the UPC's got multi-touch, which is not an Apple.
Well then maybe not.
Or maybe they paid Apple.
But it's not a phone either.
True.
Right here, in fact, you can see. So the touch event gives you a motion event, so I suppose they could extend the motion event to tell you more information than they currently give you in it, so they could extend it to have dual touch or something like that, supposedly, but there's nothing in there at the moment that would handle that sort of behaviour. Alright.
They're using Webcam in the mentioned?
Yes, they are. It's WebKit on a handset. There are, when I said the browser is very cool and very easy to use, I'll quickly show you some code that launches the browser.
Can you embed the browser in your...
That was they're going to be my follow-up to that. There is launched the browser as an application. It's also possible just to load the WebKit browser internally inside your app and run that there. So I've never done that. There is a big documented thing on one of the Android sites by one of the Android developers on how to do it. So I'm pretty sure it's fairly straightforward given that they've documented it all for you. But I've never done it myself. Where we go? Somewhere here. There we go. Somewhere else. There you go. So it's 3 lines to generate a thing. So here we go. You see the URL, a new intent of action. View this URL and parse it the URL with the URI component, and then you start the activity. That's the limit of what you need to do.
You could have done that in one way.
I could have done that in one way. I unfortunately, like you, Richard, I like to have my code readable. And I didn't write that code, by the way.
I wrote in Grails and the words farmer.
Doesn't run. On your comment on Delvic VM, does everybody know how this works under the hood? So there is a Java compiler that compiles bytecode out of the end of this source, and then from there's a Android compiler that compiles the Java bytecode into Delvic VM bytecode, which is actually the VM that's running on the device.
That means that you can't use dynamic code generation techniques in Java for it. Because the
Absolutely.
bytecode engine is different.
Yep. So how's the library called that everyone uses?
ASM? Rob?
ASM.
Yeah. Those sort of things don't work. Whether Google
Well, it could work if there was a Delvic version, right?
absolutely, yeah, and whether Google were prepared to tell you what you needed to do to get that to run, who knows?
Well, you can kind of do that offline as well. You can do that for the ant task, etc.
as long as it's before their compiler.
Yeah, before they compile it. So if you did it, if it was doable at compile time, then yeah, that's fine. If you wanted to do it dynamically at runtime, no
Yeah.
such luck.